Hi everybody, Jonathan here, and in this video we're going to go over how to take PAR-Q's the efficient ninja trainer way. Now, first and foremost, if you just happen to stumble upon this video, I first want to welcome you, and I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel by hovering over that button right there using your mouse. It will release a subscribe button that you can click on. It won't interrupt any of the content in this video. Now, if you want to share any of the content in this video in social media, you can take advantage of any one of these buttons down below, as you can share this on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. And last but not least, if you're a fitness professional looking to improve the efficiency of their business, I definitely recommend that you take advantage of either one, or actually both of these icons right over there, as the Udemy course is going to be a course put together to help you to establish a $100,000 business. It's going to go over everything from putting together your boot camp, and I'm also going to be adding a lot of marketing, website building, and branding information on that. Beyond that, if you go over to the FitPro Calculator, it will help you to definitely add a means of retaining your clients, as it will help you to paperlessly keep records of your clients. And it will also remind your clients that they need to come in for measurements, and that's a great way to keep your clients abreast of how they're doing. But we want to talk now about PAR-Qs, because one of the most fundamental aspects and the most important part of the sales process is when you first meet the client. And I think it's going to be in your best interest to keep this interaction as fun, as lively, and as light as possible, because you want to make sure that the client is moving. When they first walk in, they don't want to be interviewed for 30 minutes and then shipped away, or interviewed for 30 minutes and then work out. When people first join the gym, they want to work out as soon as possible. So that interview process, you kind of want to streamline it to the best of your ability. Now, I've put together a lot of videos on how to make your business paperless. I operate completely without paper, as I hate to have to print stuff. I hate when my toner runs out. I hate having to buy ink for my printer, and I hate having to save all this paper everywhere, because it's hard to manage and hard to file. So I put together videos on waivers, how to get waivers electronically and signed directly onto your iPad. So if you've never seen that video, you can click it over there. I put together videos on contracts, any kind of contract that you can think of for personal training or for group training, whether it's by session or by time. And I put downloads together on my website. You can click that over there, and I'll also put the links in the description box below. But I recently got a lot of questions on the PAR-Q, and I'd be remiss if I didn't go over the PAR-Q, because I do that wirelessly as well. Moreover, I do that and I get information before I even meet the client face to face, because it gives me ammunition as I start my sales process, so I know what to attack, what to stay away from, so on and so forth. But you may not know how to administer this wirelessly, how to do this paperlessly. So I'm going to show you how to create a form online. It will be free, and it will be your form that you send out to your clients. Whenever you first meet with them, you can send them an email. I'll show you how to write out a script. I'll actually give you the script, but you'll have to put the PAR-Q together yourself, because obviously it's going to be for your specific business, and you need to have your own account so that the PAR-Qs that are filled out go directly to your email. So it'll give you an opportunity to review information about the client, go over any risk factors, and then set up your sales process and whatever you want to do with your client on that first day. It'll all be covered in the PAR-Q, and then that way you don't have to save paper. You have their contact information on Dropbox and in your email inbox, and then it'll be much easier for you to establish your business. So let's go right to the computer and let's get to work.
All right, everybody, we are starting off on Google, and we're going to go to 123contactform.com. All right, and this is a site which will allow you to build your own contact forms for your website. But in this case, you can also use this for your emails. Whenever you meet a new client, you can send them an email with a link to your contact form, and then you can collect their PAR-Q information to get yourself ready for their one-on-one. So we're going to start off by signing up. We're going to go to the sign up button. Start off with basic. It gives you 100 submissions per month. You really only need one form. You only need one user. And to be quite honest with you, if you're getting more than 100 submissions a month, it should really be no problem for you to be paying $15 a month. All right, so you're going to hit sign up, and then you're simply going to create a username, password, and enter in an email address. Hit create account. So we're going to start off by creating a contact form. We're going to click on contact and lead form. So now you want to give your form a name. It's essentially going to be your business name, and you can call it questionnaire instead of PARQ because people don't know what PARQ means. So we're going to call this Jonathan Fit Pro Personal Training Questionnaire. Hit OK. And you can essentially delete everything that you start off with. You're going to start off with a blank form. And the one thing that you have to remember is when you're building your form in the basic plan, you really only have 10 fields. So I'm going to give you the 10 most important fields that I think you need to use. You're going to skip the basics and you're going to go over to advanced field. So the first and most obvious field that you're going to need is the client's name. That's automatically populated. You also need your client's phone number. And for the sake of communication, you also need your client's email address. So we're going to go back to the basic fields. We're going to hit email. So now you also want to know what your client is interested in. We're going to stay in basic field and we're going to go to checkbox. So we're going to hit untitled, and now we can edit aspects of this field. So you're going to say, what services are you interested in? And then each time you enter in a new field and press enter, that can be a choice. So choice 1 will be personal training. You may have small group training, boot camp, boxing, nutrition consulting. Or if the client isn't sure, you can say, would like to learn more. Click away. Make this required, or else they can conceivably just leave this blank. And you want to get as much information as possible for your one-on-one, so you want to know what they're interested in. Hit the required button, and now you're set. We're going to go back to add field. Now the next thing that I personally ask is, are you wearing an internal heart regulating device such as a pacemaker? Mainly because I take body fat using a handheld body fat monitor that sends a shock throughout your body. And if you're wearing a pacemaker or something like that, you cannot take body fat. So I would definitely recommend that you use your radio button, hit untitled. Are you wearing a pacemaker? And you can simply put yes and no. This is required, and you click away. Go to add field. The next thing that you're going to want to add, I also forgot that you want to make the name required, the phone required, and the email required. When you have all these fields required, then the client cannot submit the form without answering this question. You also may not want to allow duplicates. So if it's something like a promo code that you give out, then you could say don't allow duplicates. So the next field that we're going to go to are your risk factors. So we're going to hit the checkbox, and under label, please check all that apply to you. So you're going to put your typical risk factors. I am over 55 years old. I am a smoker. I have not exercised consistently in 3 months. I am a diabetic. I have a history of heart disease in my family, and I have high blood pressure. Okay, so all of these are risk factors. And if you're going by the ACE manual or even the NSCA manual, and you see that this person has 3 or more risk factors, you may want to require them to see their physician but this is definitely a field that should be filled out because it lets you know what you're dealing with in terms of their lifestyle and in terms of what modifications or what red flags you need to look out for while training this client. Next, you want to learn a little bit about the client. You want to give them some free range to tell you what they want and what has frustrated them in the past. So we're going to go to add field, and we're going to give them a text area. This is essentially going to let them put whatever they want. So the question is, where have you struggled most when it comes to achieving your fitness goals? And what exactly do you want to achieve? That has to be required. That will give your client an opportunity to tell you their life story in a nutshell, and then you can, based on what they tell you, give them the information that they want to hear so they can sign up with you. So you're going to hit the required button because you definitely want that. The next field that you would want is making sure that you give them what they want in terms of the workout, because after your initial meeting with them, you're going to put together a workout. So you want to make sure that it's something that they think is perfect for them. So ask them right away. I'm going to go to text area. And ask, are there any particular workouts that you enjoy? Have you played any organized sports? What body parts do you want to work on? All right, so you're getting a lot of this out of the way, mainly because you want to give the client what they're looking for. You don't just want to pull a workout, your really only chance to impress the client to sign up with you by pulling a workout out of thin air that you think they might like. Get the information on what they've done before. If they've played soccer before, you may want to incorporate soccer drill type exercises. If they're tennis players, at least you can know you can reference specific exercises and how it can help them to play tennis better. If they've referenced body parts, listen, we all understand that there's no such thing as spot training, but you can say how you need to incorporate your butt when you do this specific squat in order to, strengthen or tone up. And then that way you're giving the client the information that they want to hear to sign up with you. So you're going to hit on required, make sure that they fill that out. Now the next field that you're going to want is the text area. Click on untitled. List any injuries that you suffer from. And then you can put example, knee pain, lower back pain, shortness of breath. So they have an idea, because people tend to leave out certain information. So you want to know any injuries that the person may have. This is required. This is very important so that you can keep them away from any exercises that may do damage. Remember, rule number 1, do no harm. And last but not least, you want emergency contact information. So this is 9 fields right here. So instead of using the advanced name and phone number, you can just go to basic fields, go to text area, and then you can just put, please include the name and phone number for your emergency contact. And that way you got all 10 fields, and then you're set. So make that required. And this is going to be what you want your clients to fill out. All right, so we're going to go over to continue. So the form settings are going to determine how you receive the information from 123 contact form. So all the emails will go to the address that I registered with. If you wanted to change that, or if you wanted to add somebody else to get the forms, you go to new recipient. So let's say you have an employee that's looking out for specific emails. You want them to know that this is coming from your business. So you can put, this is from Jonathan, Fit Pro, Personal Training. You can add communications or forms so that they know it's a form. From email, it's going to come from 123contactform.com. The reply to email, you can leave that as is. And the subject, you can put new PARQ from, and then you can add whatever the person puts in their name field will automatically go. So if it was John Smith, it would say new PARQ from John Smith. And under your other options, you want to put do not show empty fields in the email notification. Do not show unselected checkboxes. So that way, if you have the risk factors, they don't need to show all the risk factors that don't apply to the client. And you can check include all selected checkboxes on the same line so you don't get a very long email. So under all options, you're just going to click on all three. So now after your client finishes filling out their form, you want to give them some kind of notification so that they know they did it successfully. You can put your form has been received. I can't wait to discuss your goals with you. And that's about it. You can go to Save Changes. You can go to Continue. And now you have a bunch of options. You have this URL option, you have an HTML link option, and you have an HTML link image option. And now anytime you want to send your client the form, you can essentially just highlight by triple clicking the URL email messenger and hit Control-C to copy. You can compose a message, enter your client's email, contact form for Jonathan, Fit Pro, Personal Training. You can then have a message something like, thank you for inquiring about Jonathan, Fit Pro Personal Training. Please take 2 minutes to fill out this form. And then essentially you're going to highlight fill out this form. You're going to click on the hyperlink button, or you can just hit Control or Command K. And then the URL it's going to go to is Control V. And that's that same link from 123contactform.com. Hit OK. And you can put whatever other information is important for you. Your business name. You can put the person's name up top. But you'd essentially hit send, and I'll send it to myself so you can see what the client would receive. The client would get contact form for Jonathan Fit Pro Personal Training. It'll have the message, it'll have the link, and this is what will show. So I'd enter in my name, Bill Watts, number, and then Bill Watts at billwatts.com. And then let's say I'm interested in small group training, boxing, and nutrition. I'm not wearing a pacemaker. I am not a smoker. I have exercised, but I am diabetic and I have a history of heart disease. The client will then answer these questions. What have you struggled with? Junk food? Are there any particular workouts? You like kettlebells? And boxing. And I boxed in high school. So this person is a red flag, definitely wants boxing training. Or you can at least ask about it. And they want to tone their arms. Any injuries, shoulder impingement. They usually won't use the word impingement, but shoulder pain when I go overhead. And then contact information for an emergency contact. Will Smith, 555 555 5555. Hit send email. And this is what your client will see. In my receiving email, I've now got a new form. And here it is, new ParkQ form from Bill Watts. And now as you can see, only what they're interested in will show. You have their email, you have their phone number, you have their name all in one convenient area, you have their contact information, and you can reference this. You can create your own folder inside of Gmail. So we're going to go to Move To. We're going to create a new label. We're going to put ParkQs. And every time that you get a ParkQ, you can put it under ParkQ, and then you can go through all of your clients because their name is listed in the subject line. So I hope you found this video helpful. I definitely recommend that you subscribe to this channel if you have not already. I am, as always, going to include new information. So remember, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to comment below. Remember to eat healthy, hydrate, drive safe. Stress levels all good, rest, don't slap anybody. Love your clients, they will love you back. I will see you all tomorrow or the next day, and you have a good one.
Olympic lifting. So yeah, understand that the niche market focuses on the people, the demographic, and the specialization focus on the mode. Now there are pros and cons when it comes to niche fitness businesses. I'm going to go over them now. In terms of the marketing, when it comes to a niche business, you have an advantage because your marketing can be more directed. You can speak directly to your audience, whether it be people that are looking to do mud runs, tennis players, dancers, golfers, whatever the case may be. You can speak specifically to them. And also, because you are targeting a smaller audience, there tends to be fewer of you out there, so you are a little bit more exclusive, which allows you to charge a little bit more than, let's say, general training. The one drawback is you're drawing from a smaller pool of people, so you want your marketing to be really sound and really directed. So to make sure that that's the case, you want to make sure that you address three things. When it comes to your marketing,